Hello folks, welcome back to another review and thoughts on. This time I just got done checking out Bring Her Back, which is a 2025 Australian supernatural psychological horror film. I believe it is also A24, which is, if anybody knows my channel, you know I do not care for a lot of those films. But, I believe it's the people that did, yeah, it was A24 as well. But, the movie received positive reviews from critics and grossed $23 million. Okay. I mean, it's it's about two siblings who find themselves orphaned and placed in the middle of an occult ritual by their new foster mother. And, I mean, wow, that is the gist of it. Like, it's a very slow burn film. I mean, not a lot happens, really. A lot of it's just either talking or not really a lot of jump scares, which I actually didn't mind. I like the fact that this movie does take its time to build up the characters. I did like the two siblings bond, the brother and sister. They just witnessed, well, they found their father dead in the shower or something, and now they're being sent to live with a new foster family. This woman, I forget her character's name. What is it? There's Andy, who's the 17-year-old brother, and stepsister Piper, Laura, the foster mother, and then you have Oliver also, who we found out later is not who that actually is. Pretty much he's a mute kid. I'll say the acting overall from everyone is either decent to alright. I mean, the movie explores themes of grief and loss, and, I did like, again, I like the relationship between Piper and Andy, where they, he looks out for her because she's blind, and so he's always protective over her. And there is some stuff afterward. There is stuff they explain later on about his backstory of the dad. I guess she was the favorite of the family, and he kind of resented her for that a bit. But he tries. I think he does feel bad for like what. How he felt and what he did to her, because later on, he explains he punched her or something when he was 8. But this is like a 4-person film. Again, it's not a it's not a bloodbath movie, although there is some gore, decent practical effects with the Oliver character. But yeah, the whole occult thing of, this woman, Laura, she explains her daughter, Kathy, passed. I forget when she said that she did, or if she even did say, because there's this whole time limit of what she has to do in order to get her daughter back from whatever, or transfer whatever, this demon or whatever. The thing that's inside of Oliver, I guess, she believes is an angel and can bring back her daughter, who was also blind, which I did not even know that. I must have missed that line of dialogue, because I swear, I'm like wondering what, so she doesn't care that, her daughter will be in the body of an Asian chick. So it's like a Ghost in the Shell. um, essentially. But I did like the creepiness of the whole VHS. You know, she watches these tapes of these exorcisms or rituals of possessed hosts, but they don't really explain how she even came across this whole idea to bring her daughter back in the first place. I mean, I guess, ultimate. I guess maybe you can say when her daughter passed, but then again, how did she come into contact with these people and this idea to do this whole thing? And then there's like a whole time limit of when she can actually do this, and then there's some type of rules of, well, her daughter died drowning, so then she has to kill another person drowning, and then that person, her daughter's soul will be transferred then to, but then not really, because it's really just the demon sort of manipulating Laura, but then not really, because she's kind of willing to go along with what she's doing. She finds it, oh, it's not really bad, because I know it's bad, but it's not too bad to where, I'm getting my daughter back. But, yeah, the ending, I will say, wasn't as, I did hate the fact that, Andy's character doesn't, granted, he does save his sister overall, but it does cost him, I'll just say that. Because I did like that character. I felt bad for him. We find out backstory with him and the dad issues, family issues, I'll just say that. It's edited pretty well, I would say. Sound design is fine. I don't know if I would watch this again. I would say, this is probably a second one of the better A24 horror films, because again, I do wish if they explored a bit more of the occult stuff versus, oh, we're just going to watch some VHS stuff and hope that you'd understand some stuff that's going on. Or they just made it where the mother, Laura's just crazy, and, she pulls a sleepaway camp thing with this kid Oliver and tries to make him her daughter or something, and or so, I don't know, something to where I guess it would have to be, but then how would you bring in Andy and Piper into all that? And I don't know, like, this movie should have just not been an actual supernatural film and more of a psychological film, because again, the themes of grief and, family dynamic, I did like those elements. So if you cut out like the supernatural crap in this, then maybe I would have liked it more. At least with the lodge, there's nothing. It's really nothing supernatural. It's just two kids being douchebags to this woman who survived traumatic, experiences, and like, there's nothing supernatural about it, but they treat it like it is, and then you find out, and I like that movie way more. Even the ending, I know some people are like, do they really deserve to die? Because even though they're kids and all, I mean, no, but I understand where the chick, because she went, they brought it out of her again, so, like, reap what you sow. So yeah, overall, this movie, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's one of the best of the year, like a lot of critics and reviewers are saying, and oh my god, and again, like, some of the stuff, there's even a scene where Piper's running away from Laura, and she, granted, like, it's not supposed to be funny because she's blind and all, and she can't see really much. She can see, like, shapes. She describes, like, shapes and stuff, but there's a scene where she's running, she turns to run, and she bangs her head off of a wall or a pole in the middle of the house or room. She like just bung, knocks herself out. I'm like, wow. I actually literally like laughed at the. I know you're not. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny. I get it, but yeah, you have that. But again, the whole rules of there's like a time limit of transference and all that, but then not really, because then she takes her time. It seems like there's like a few days go by, or weeks, or a week or so goes by, and like, but then again, it's like how does she know about this stuff? So aside from like some of the issues I have with the rules or even some of the plot, or even the scene where Laura's like, I killed your father in the shower, but then not really. You found him in the shower dead or whatever. Like, what? Like, what was that in his head that he heard her say that in the hospital, or did she really say that? And then also, how does she do it, if that's possible? Or then I did like the idea of maybe she was stalking this family, and that's how, she got involved, because she used to work as a child's family social worker or whatever, protective services. So, but they don't say any of that at all. They don't, they say she used to be there for 20 years or whatever, but and I did like the fact that Andy does actually have a witness. He does bring the social worker to the place. At first you think Laura's going to get away with it, but then she just she just flat out, when the social worker lady, her buddy, she's like, you got blood on you. So then she's like, I brought my daughter, I can bring my daughter back. And then she just goes mad after that. And so then the social worker's like, oh, I see what he was talking about. Okay, we need to leave. I'm leaving you behind. So, and then he's able to show her Oliver eating some of the daughter's remains, and also, so apparently, I guess Laura's been keeping her daughter's corpse in a freezer in this outhouse, or not outhouse, but like I forget. I guess they're outhouse. No, I forget what it is. Like this back guest room or guest house, whatever you want to call it. So it sort of has like a Norman Bates type thing as well in this that I got, or Psycho anyway, because the woman is Psycho and she knows it. But yeah, I don't recommend this one unless you like to talk to me, I guess. Then maybe, because it is a similar, not really idea, but like in terms of like possession stuff, I would say it's probably the only familiar territory these two share. So yeah, overall, I would say Talk to Me is better. I wasn't really the biggest fan of that movie, but it was fine looking back. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think is Bring Her Back. Also, if anybody wants me to review any movies or TV series reactions, or reaction to music, artists, music videos, songs, whatever, link to my PayPal is down below in the description, or Patreon. Also, visit my BitChute channel as well. I post on there as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Peace and love.